Michael Morton and Christine Morton lived the American dream. They had a son who brought them light and changed them, and they worked average jobs, living in a young, happy family. After their son recovered from a sickness that took up the first 3 years of their life, things were getting a lot better for them. This is the home where Christine Morton was beat to death in a home invasion while Michael was at work in 1986, a day after his birthday. Michael knew something was up when he showed up to pick up his son at the babysitter's house, and she asked him what he was doing there. Their son had never been dropped off at the babysitter's, so he called home and a sheriff answered. This is when he rushed home to see what was going on. When he pulled into his neighborhood, he noticed that there was police blocking off his entire house and crime scene tape. As he tried to push through and go see what was happening, they told him to stay back. It was a homicide investigation. Not long after, Michael lost his wife to a brutal home invasion. He was arrested and convicted for her murder. The evidence they had was pure theory, and they withheld evidence that probably would have convinced the jury that he was innocent. Their major piece of evidence and major theory was that he was sexually driven and wasn't getting what he wanted. He left a note the night of his birthday, a sarcastic note that read, "Christine, I know you didn't mean to, but you made me feel really unwanted last night. After a good meal, we came home, you binged on the rest of the cookies, then you farted and fell asleep. I'm not mad, I just wanted you to know how I feel without us getting into a fight about sex. Just think about how you would feel if you were left hanging on your birthday. I love you." That night, Christine Morton woke Michael up in his sleep. She said, "Tomorrow, baby." Little did she know there would be no tomorrow. After losing the love of his life, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison, where he also lost relations with his son, who was convinced that he was the murderer. On top of it all, Michael never found justice for his wife, Christine Morton. As DNA and science progressed, supporters of Michael Morton were doing their best to try to prove his innocence. What got Michael out of prison finally after 25 years was a bloody bandana. It was 100 feet from the scene. The bandana was tested for DNA. The blood on the bandana matched the DNA of Christine Morton. There was also DNA of another man on the bandana, but the DNA did not match to Michael Morton. It was another male. They tested this DNA and it matched to a nearby predator named Mark Allen Norwood. Mark Allen Norwood was also convicted of another murder almost identical to this one. This testing led to Michael's release after 25 years of being falsely convicted. So we're on our way to the scene where the Austin bomber blew himself up. And there's a cross there, so we're gonna go check out why, because we're just wondering why there'd be a cross at the scene in honor of him.
I know it'll be less than 2 minutes. We'll be there. Do you see a cross?
No, what color was it? Was it blue?
Right here. See? See?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bingo. Okay. All right, we're gonna get our answers.
So we're here. No, it's not him. Killed at this location by a drunk driver. We really thought
He died in 2002.
we really thought that cross was going to be relevant to the case, but turns out it was just
Still important.
no. Yeah, but
William Scott Dean.
but I'm glad to say that cross was not in honor of the bomber, because that would have been kind of morbid.
Let's find his address, though.
In March of this year, 2018, suspicious packages were being sent all over Austin, Texas. These packages contained explosives and blew up as soon as they were opened. 2 people died from this and 5 were injured. Another death that I didn't included the suspect himself, Mark Anthony Condit, a 25-year-old man living with 2 roommates. When the ambulance were accidentally dispatched at the wrong time and showed up at Mark's house, it allowed him time to flee the scene. This led to a huge police chase, which eventually got him cornered in. As police approached his car, he blew himself up with his own bomb. We couldn't track down the house where the bombs were created, but this is the house where he was homeschooled and raised. Mark Anthony Condit also left a confession letter behind. The yogurt shop murders. In December 1991, 4 females were at a yogurt shop, 3 of which were employees, and 1 was just a friend of the employees who planned to have a sleepover after her shift. They were just closing up a shop called I Can't Believe It's Yogurt in Austin, Texas. The girls were between the ages of 15 and 17. This is the nail salon that replaced the location of the yogurt shop where 4 girls were brutally murdered. The memorial.
And I come here for all of my clothes shopping. All of this time I've lived here at, look, Clothes Encore, which has been a few down. That's crazy.
The girls were shot, at least 2 were bound together, and at least 1 was sexually assaulted. The girls were then lit on fire along with the rest of the yogurt shop. The autopsies are so disturbing that they haven't been fully released to the public. After 4 suspects had been interrogated for a while, a couple of them confessed to certain crimes that took place this night, but the charges were dropped due to lack of evidence and a potentially corrupt cop. This cold case still remains unsolved. This is the memorial, which is displayed in the parking lot where the yogurt shop once stood. Rest in peace to the victims involved in these crimes, which include the following. Rest in peace, Anthony Stephen House. Rest in peace, Draylen Mason. Rest in peace, Amy Ayers. Rest in peace, sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbison. Rest in peace, Eliza Thomas. Rest in peace, Christine Morton.